My name is Ethan Reed, and the night my so-called boss proposed to my wife in front of everyone was the night my quiet disguise finally ended. For months I had worked at my own company under another name, a hidden test I designed to see who among my staff truly cared about the people around them and who only bowed to power. I never expected my experiment to reveal the truth about my marriage instead. I founded Reed Innovations years ago from a small workshop in my garage. Through long nights, failure, and relentless work, I built it into one of the most respected tech companies in the city. But after years of pressure, I wanted to know whether my success had changed the people closest to me, especially my wife, Laura. When she began spending more time with Marcus Hale, the man I had publicly named as acting CEO, I told myself it was just business. Still, something inside me grew uneasy. Marcus had charm, looks, and confidence, the kind that filled rooms and won hearts easily. To test both him and the people I trusted most, I quietly stepped back from public view, claiming I needed time for health reasons. Internally, though, I remained in control under an alias, Ethan Gray, a mid-level employee newly hired in accounting. Only a few board members knew the truth. The plan was simple: observe, learn, and decide who really valued integrity. Laura didn't know. She believed I was consulting for another firm abroad, and Marcus had offered her a role on a new marketing project. She accepted enthusiastically, often telling me on our calls about how inspiring Marcus was and how lucky she felt to work under a true visionary. Each time she said it, I felt something twist inside me. Months passed. As Ethan Gray, I worked quietly in a corner office few visited. I listened, watched, and took notes. Marcus was exactly what I feared: charming to superiors, ruthless to subordinates, and eager to claim credit for others' ideas. What shocked me most was how easily Laura admired him. One afternoon, I overheard her telling a coworker, if Ethan had half of Marcus's drive, our life would be perfect. The words cut deeper than she could imagine. Then came the night of the annual company gala, a grand affair celebrating the year's success. Marcus announced that the event would feature a surprise for someone special. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers and laughter, but I could feel something darker brewing beneath the surface. I attended quietly, dressed in a simple suit, just another face among hundreds. Midway through the evening, Marcus tapped the microphone and called everyone's attention. "Tonight," he began with his trademark grin, "I want to celebrate not just our success, but the person who inspires me every day. Laura, would you join me up here?" The crowd clapped politely as Laura, radiant in a silver gown, walked to the stage. My heart pounded. Marcus knelt, pulled out a velvet box, and said the words that made the entire room gasp. "Laura, will you marry me?" The air froze. I saw her eyes widen in disbelief, then flicker with confusion, then embarrassment. "Marcus," she whispered, I'm married." He smiled, confident as ever. "Married to a man who left you behind. You deserve better, someone who sees your worth." Cameras flashed. Murmurs spread through the crowd. My chest burned with a mix of anger and disbelief, but I didn't move. I wanted to see her choice. Laura took a step back, her face pale. "This is inappropriate," she said quickly, forcing a laugh. "Let's not make a scene." Marcus didn't budge. "I know your husband, Laura. I've seen his records. He doesn't have what you need. You belong with someone who can give you the life you deserve." That was the moment I stood. The room quieted as I walked toward the stage, the sound of my wheels softly echoing on the polished floor. I used a chair for long distances since an old injury, another part of the persona I'd built. Marcus frowned. "Sir, this is a private." "No," I said calmly, removing my ID badge. "It's very public." I reached the microphone and looked at him squarely. "You were right about one thing, Marcus. My wife deserves someone who sees her worth. Unfortunately for you, that someone isn't you." He blinked, confused. "Who are you to interrupt?" I smiled faintly. "I'm Ethan Reed, owner and founder of this company." The silence that followed was absolute. Then came the collective gasp, employees whispering, cameras flashing again, Marcus stumbling backward in shock. Laura's eyes widened, tears forming as the realization hit her. "I wanted to know who I could trust," I continued, voice steady. "Who treated people with respect when they thought no one important was watching. You failed that test spectacularly. Marcus's face turned red. This is a setup. Security, I said evenly. Please escort Mr. Hale out. His employment is terminated effective immediately. The guards moved quickly. Marcus tried to protest, but the crowd's silence crushed his words. As he was led away, Laura stood trembling beside me. When the room finally exhaled, I turned to her. Laura, I said softly, you didn't know who I was. But tell me honestly, did you forget who you were? Her tears fell silently. Ethan, I never meant. I know, I interrupted gently. But sometimes, we find out who people are when they think we have nothing left to offer. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. I left early, not out of anger but out of clarity. The truth had surfaced, and it hurt, but it was clean. Weeks later, the company moved forward stronger than before. Marcus was gone, and the people who had shown kindness during my disguise were rewarded. As for Laura, we eventually met again. She apologized, sincerely, but by then, I'd learned a lesson worth more than any fortune. Respect and loyalty can't be bought. They're revealed when the masks come off. And that night, when mine finally did, everyone in that ballroom learned who truly owned not just the company, but his own story.